Hi everyone, welcome to On the Other Hand. I'm Ariane Zurcher, and I am sitting in front of the piece that I'm now working on, having finished my vessel, which was very exciting. And for those of you who were following, you know I did a playlist. There are 10 episodes. The last episode I just posted with the finished vessel, and it was thrilling because I went through a great many challenges, shall we say, and in many ways going through all of these different iterations on a project actually makes the end result that much more exciting, because I just couldn't believe how it all sort of came together without any speed bumps at all. I just kept thinking, I don't know, this is coming together. I can't believe it. So that was great. I'm leaving in a few days for a month-long trip. So instead of starting another vessel, I thought I'd get back to this guy. And I'm just doing a couple of little things. You can see this piece here. This is some rice paper, as is, can you see it? Maybe not, let's look. Up here, there's more rice paper. There's paper that I've painted. I've got a piece here somewhere, over here, that I'm, it's got a bit of black, it's actually silk kimono fabric from my mother, and it's all sort of bunched up and then stitched, and I'm stitching this over it. And then my idea is that I'm going to pull away the rice paper so that it exposes some of the silk kimono. I have more. My mother had tons of silk kimonos that she gave me. She was planning on doing all these projects, and then, she got older and couldn't do all that she'd hoped for. In any case, I've got lots of this fabric, and I'm thinking of doing things with it, as well as here's some more silk kimono. This is another silk kimono with some gold thread running through it. It's very pretty. So I'm kind of playing with this idea of using that, maybe stuffing some of it so that I'm creating some texture. I don't know. I had this idea that I wanted to include some broken knitting needles that she gave me, because she taught me to knit. So maybe I'll put those, wrap them somehow, or I'm not sure. I also have some, she taught me how to do embroidery when I was a little girl, and we did crewel, the wool thread with the ply, and you pull the ply apart, all of that. So I have some of that, and I was thinking it would be fun to put that in here as well, because I feel like this is the piece that I came back to finally after a 2-year gap. I kind of just stopped everything for 2 years. It was so incredible. I was doing a video and I kept saying 1 year. It was 2 years, which just kind of blows my mind. And yeah, I really needed to take that break. I was really burnt out, and there was a lot of stuff happening that was, I needed to work through emotionally. So I started to get excited about this, and then that led to the vessel, because I cut these pieces out, which I then put into the vessel, and I'm feeling that old energy back. Boy, if anyone tells you that burnout doesn't exist, they are so wrong. It is such a thing. I don't think I fully appreciated the magnitude of how much I needed to step away and do some self-care. So yeah, so I'll turn you around and I'll show you a little bit of what I'm doing, and also some up close shots of some of this stuff. Oh, and I have some chicken wire from the vessel, and my friend Laura, who I adore, hi Laura, she, quick story, when my husband and I were traveling in Spain, Laura drove down from her place where she lives in south of France, drove down, met us, spent the afternoon with us, and then drove back, and it meant the world to me. And in any case, she was telling me that there was something that you can spray on chicken wire and it rusts it. And that if you put fabric in there, it'll rust the fabric with like the print of the chicken wire. And I was thinking, that's so cool. I have no idea what the spray is. Maybe somebody knows, or Laura, if you know, you could just comment and tell me what it is that I'm spraying on there. And can I just stick it like in a Ziploc bag? I mean, yeah. Okay, details, please. Here we go, back. Do you see how I'm adding this bit here? And I'm just using some linen thread to stitch this down. And I'm just gonna follow these circles. This is a rice paper, which is really lovely to work with. And I can just kind of push it however way I want. Yeah, so I'll just keep going around the circles to get it down, and then I've got some more. It's not much, but I might be able to, well, I can always get another couple sheets of this, which I think I will, because I really like the idea of covering this shape. And this was that, this was the mask. It had it looked like eyeballs here. Anyway, I covered that with this, stitched that down. And I think what I'm going to do at this point is I'm going to cover these big areas here, here, and here. And then I'm going to see where I'm at. Yeah, I'll kind of reassess. I want to bring in some red, but I'm not sure how or where, whether that's going to be paper, fabric, paint. Don't know. But this is where I'm going now that I've finished the vessel. I only have a week before we leave for Scandinavia, so I figure I'm not going to start another vessel because I'll get totally obsessed. So I'm just going to work on this, and yeah, we'll see what happens. I'm continuing with this shape. I've added here. I've also added this and stitched that down, and I'm in the process of stitching this down. I've got a couple of different papers, a whole bunch actually, and so my thinking is that I'm going to kind of like this one. cool, right? You can use this side or this side, depending on what part you want to emphasize. I might use this side. But I want to, my thinking is to, well, the first thing I'm doing, because I don't want to get ahead of myself, is to stitch this down and then stitch this down. Once I have that down, my thinking is to cut out more of these, this one, this one, this one, maybe this, I'm not sure. Maybe these. And get all those down, see what that looks like. I really like this because it has that transparency to it, and this is a little bit opaque. So I have this one, which is also, it's a bit more, it's pretty busy though. So it may be that I go and I may use these again. Well, at least for this side. I'm not sure. I kind of like doing a couple of different versions, a couple of different types of paper. I have another one, which is this one. This one, which I like quite a bit. I have these two. Yeah, I've got this one, which also could be pretty cool. And I've got this one, which is quite a bit thicker. So I'm not sure about using this, at least for this purpose. I mean, it's a cool paper, but, you know. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I'm really just stitching these circles down. Here, I've actually gone outside and stitched, and I may do that here as well. I don't know. You know, it's really what it feels like as I'm doing it. And I've got my little pliers here, which really help. This is actually a linen that is kind of like a golden, and then there's all this stitching here. I painted it black. I may go in with some sandpaper and actually have some sandpaper. I have a sander, which is kind of awesome. This thing. So, sorry for the noise, but what's cool about that is that I can create some interest here with the sander so that it's showing bits, which I kind of like that. Yeah, so that's, you know, that's an option. Go in there with the sander. But for now, I'm just going to keep doing this, which is to stitch these guys down. Another thing I could do is I could do this free motion quilting, you know, and go around and stitch this down by the machine. But I don't know. I haven't. I cut out all the portions, and you know, remember I used this bit on my vessel. If you didn't watch the vessel series, I actually made a playlist for it. There are 10 episodes in that, and you'll see where I cut out this and then actually incorporated it into the vessel, which turned out really, really well. I was super excited about that. I want to make another vessel. But I'm actually going to be traveling in another couple days, so I just want to start working on this and not get all involved in another vessel until I get back. And when I'm back, I have a couple of different ideas. I want to do a vessel that is as big or even a little bigger than the one I just did. And then I'd like to do a series of smaller vessels. So the one that I did is about like this, you know, it's about 24 or 5 inches tall and about whatever that is, you know, wide. And I'd like to do one that's a bit wider and maybe just as tall, but certainly wider. And so and then the smaller vessels, I'm thinking like, you know, this size kind of thing. But that's not going to be until I get back. I can start doing just some sort of hand stitching on stuff that I may or may not then use in the vessel. But yeah, I haven't really thought about it, honestly. I'm just kind of going with whatever I feel like at this point. I'm trying not to make any plans one way or the other. Okay, so this, I'm going to keep going around here. And because I want to come over here. This part's already stitched, this is not. You can see the pins. It's been pretty hot and I'm standing underneath our air conditioning vents directly above me, so I'm getting blasted. I may have to turn the air down. Yeah, so I'm going to keep going with this, do this, finish that one, and then figure it out. As I've mentioned before, I do want to get some red, I'm thinking, but I, you know, again, don't want to get ahead of myself, so that's where I'm at. I just wanted to show you what I'm doing here. I'm kind of following along the circle, the darker bits of this rice paper that are that kind of make these spherical shapes, and I'm just going along them, and then with a running stitch, and then what I'm doing is I'm going around the outside of this black fabric that actually comes out, and I'm going to go around that, and then I'm going to pull away this rice paper. So I thought I would show you how I'm doing that. as I do it. So I'm not going to go up here because this is where the black bit is. So instead, I'm going to go down into this area, which is where that black part is. Even though it goes actually down farther, I'm going to pretend that it goes here. And then let's see, where does it go? Okay, so I've come out farther than it actually is. That's okay. I can cheat and go along this thicker line and just pretend that that was my intention all along, and not something that just sort of happened. And now I'm going to go back in here. This is where the black bit is. Here, I can only feel it. I can't, actually it goes farther. I can only feel it. I can't see it because the paint is also black. So let's see here. Now I'm going to come up here. See, I can do sort of a double running stitch. It doesn't really matter. And pretend, again, that this was my intention. Then it sort of does this. It's kind of like a kidney shape, I guess. I don't know, is that a kidney shape? And then I'm going to come up here. And then I'm going to go in here. And I'm going to go over here. And this is where I started. So I can go up here now into this bit, which is the, it's where the paper thickens and makes that circle shape. So I'm right under the vent of the air conditioner, but I'm welcoming the cool air because it's very hot, and it's nice to have that cool air. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and pull away this. I just want to pull away the little bit of rice paper. I don't want to pull away the lines because I like those, but I do want to pull away this little bit so that you can expose this little bit of material, and I can even sort of pull it out. And I'm going to do that here as well. And I don't even have to pull it away. I mean, it's kind of cool to have it sort of wispy, you know? Just want to be able to give it a glimpse, sort of like you're peeking in to something. I don't know if any of you remember that movie Wall Street, but in it there was a loft, a loft in Tribeca, I believe, and it had like a bare brick, exposed bare brick, which we have actually in this loft. And I just loved that. I remember thinking, that is so cool, because it felt like you were getting a little glimpse of this, you know, this sort of old with the new. It's very cool. I've always loved that. The sort of modern with a kind of glimpse into the past. So I'm actually not going to push that away. I'm just going to kind of leave it. Okay. I'm going to do this one too, because right now it's looking like a skull, and I don't like that. So that's the thing sometimes, these ideas, I think that's better. Maybe what I'll do is also stitch here and here, and here where there's a black kind of swoop, and expose that so that I get this kind of, I'm getting one of those, I don't know if you remember, but I had like this weird mask looking thing up there, which I did not appreciate. I had to cover it, and that definitely helped. So let's see if I can see what I can do here. I think if I do that swoopy bit here, that will change it. And do you remember how I took the sander to this? So you're getting some yellow bits showing? Kind of like that. Not sure what I'm going to do with that right now, but it's okay, I don't need to know. Okay, so I am going to go in here, and I'm just going to do, again, a running stitch along this swoopy bit where I can see the black underneath showing. And go in there like that. And then I can kind of save. And then I'm going to go in here. And I'm going to outline this bit here, so that I can kind of scoop that paper out, and see if I can do this. And then this is the other bit that I'm gonna pull some of this paper away. Right here. I think that'll change everything. And this bit, I'm going to go in here, and I'm just going to do a running stitch from here, and I'm going to pretend that this dark area is going where my running stitch is, even though it isn't. That's okay. Okay, so that's that. Let's see. I'm not gonna knot the back until I have a better idea of what this then will look like. If I pull this away. Like that. This bit here, I can pull some of this away, and I can pull this away. Now I'm doing it with a needle because I don't want a straight cut, perfectly, manicured. I want it a little, like it's just worn away kind of thing. I think it's okay. I'm gonna move on. But that's where things stand so far, and to be continued.